Hey, thank you for coming out to Life Point. I'm so glad that you chose to be a part of the small group tonight. We're in week 3 of our My Dysfunctional Family series, and this week we've been talking about another facet of parenting and family. And let me read a passage of Scripture real quick. It's in Psalm 127, verse 3 through 5. It says, "Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the one whose quiver is full of them." And so our goal in life is to be able to release our children, to launch them into life. But in order for us to do that effectively, they've got to be straight. You know, we've got to give opportunity to train and all. And so that's what we've been talking about this last Sunday is training. There's a passage of Scripture in Proverbs, and let me read it real quick. It says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it." Proverbs 22:6. We're talking about training, and what does that mean? And so there are 2 parts to training. There's what's caught and what's taught. And we focused in on what is caught and making sure that the things that we say are, first of all, in our heart. The passage of Scripture that we really looked at, and you might want to take some time right now and just kind of pause the video and read this passage in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 through 9. All right, there's an important part of that verse that you've got to understand, and the important part is that these words that I command you today, God's saying these words that I'm giving to you, that I'm saying for you to say, first of all, have to be on your heart. Then when they're on your heart, then talk about them. Teach them diligently to your children. Talk about them as you walk along the way, as you're in your house, as you lie down, as you rise up. All of those moments that we have in life that God gives us to say words, but making sure that those words, first of all, come from our heart, come from our lives. And see, what we do is going to determine what they do. Our actions speak much louder than our words. And if there's an inconsistency with the things that we're doing and the things we're saying, it's going to be confusing to our kids. And they're not going to trust us. They're not going to believe everything that we say. And I know that it takes time. I know that it takes work. But it's got to be in our hearts first. So here's a few questions. It's kind of a short video. Here are a few questions. Why is there a disconnect in what you believe and what is truly in your heart? Why is there this disconnect? Because we all have the disconnect. If we really lived out everything we believe, we would be perfect, right? But why is there a disconnect between what you believe and what's truly in your heart? All right, another question. Are you transfusing the right things into your children's hearts? We talked about that transfusing of life, that it's not just a matter of us saying stuff and instructing them, but when we live it out, when it's in our hearts, when we live it out in front of them, and we're careful of what we do, then what happens is life is transfused, our character is transfused, because our kids are stealing our identity. They're stealing parts of our character. The important thing is, what are they stealing from us? And so there's a transfusion of character to our kids. And are you transfusing the right things into your children's hearts? That's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, and it probably will be some great discussion in your Life Point. So thank you again for coming out, and pray for one another, encourage one another. Have a great Thanksgiving. God bless you.